Today we are going to complete the salt mining experiment based on what we've recently learned about static electricity. As we have learned, an ion is an atom that has either a net positive or negative charge. Balloons, for example, can build up a negative charge when rubbed against surfaces of the opposite attraction. In this case, the opposite in this experiment being my hair. The materials that we will use today will be salt, pepper, a plate to place the salt and pepper, and my hair to gain the electrons, and a balloon for the transfer. And the main objective is to physically see how electrons or negative charges can move from one object to the next. So as you can see, we have already placed the salt and the pepper on the plate. This is the only plate I had at the moment, so the salt and pepper are in the middle. And real quick, I should have had it done already, but we're gonna blow up our balloon. We're gonna inflate it. So the salt and the pepper will be used to prove what happens when the static electricity from the balloon lifts and separates the two condiments from each other through polarization. Now that we have blown up the balloon, we will rub it into my hair. And we want to make sure that we do it long enough, as this will give the electrons it needs for a negative charge and to provide enough static electricity for opposite materials to stick to it, meaning the salt and the pepper. I made it harder actually by not having an open plate, but that's okay. So as you can see, even though the salt and pepper were mixed on the plate, the salt and pepper pretty much separated for the most part when on the balloon. Through the static electricity. When placed in front of a positively charged object, the two will attract. So the main key to remember with this experiment is with static electricity in general is that opposites attract. Opposite charges attract. Also, hair is just one of the materials used to gain electrons for the static, specifically for this experiment. However, this could have been replaced with numerous other materials, such as a furry sweater or your furry pets, which all can be charged the same through friction. So just a lessons learned, if I was to try this experiment again, I probably honestly would measure out the amount of salt and pepper I used and just make sure that I used the same amount, because honestly what I expected, just fun fact is that the pepper is lighter than the salt, just in general. So it has a positive charge, which was supposed to be the opposite of the negative charge of the balloon after, I rubbed my hair with the balloon. So I'm thinking that I would do that as well longer, just so I can gain more electrons from my hair, and also measure out just to make sure that I'm using the same amount of salt and pepper. I'm not sure if that makes a difference, but I just assumed that on the plate, even though it was mixed, that there would be more pepper due to its lightness that would have attracted with the static electricity to the balloon. But honestly, I'm kind of seeing more salt, or at least, even though I'm seeing the separation of both, I'm not seeing as much pepper as I would have assumed. So I would try to measure it again. I would also try to rub it for more electrons, for more to make sure that I have enough static electricity for the balloon. And